Hello friends, welcome back to the 12 Days of Christmas. In this video, I've got a super short and sweet design. We're going to make a wavy line split tumbler. So we're going to start out by painting and glittering our cup. I've got my CRYSTALAC glitter glue mixed with hunter green acrylic paint, and I'm going to paint my cup. I've already done a very rough coat of just the paint, so this is technically my second coat. And once I've got all of that covered, I'm going to take my glitter. The glitter I'm using is Pond House from Peachy Olive Glitters. It's my favorite deep emerald green. It is so stinking beautiful, and it's a fine cut, so it'll be really easy to work with. I'm going to cover my entire tumbler in my glitter and let that sit and dry for at least 2 hours. Once everything is totally dry, I am going to seal the glitter. Even though this is a fine cut, it's not going to stick up when we epoxy and give us all kinds of pokey trouble. But I seal my glitter for 2 reasons. One, it makes your epoxy coats go on a whole lot easier, and when you're epoxying, you don't get any glitter residue on your gloves, so you can work on multiple cups at one time without having to change your gloves. So I'm going to do 2 coats of epoxy over that glitter, and then we'll go in with our patterned vinyl. I'm going to use this super cute pattern from the Vinyl Cottage, and I'm going to cut this wavy line split template. I will have this listed on my website for you. And this is different from the wavy line template that I have used in the past that I also have listed on my website if you would like to look at both of them. This one is specifically for a half split or a bigger section of vinyl and less for wavy line stripes, but it comes with the big file, and then it also comes with the striping file that I'll use here in a little bit. So you get both of those if you want to do any sort of wavy line stuff, which you guys know is my favorite thing. So I'm going to cut this out on my silhouette, and I made the size of it. I focused really on just the height. I kept the proportions the same, and I just made it, I think, an inch taller than my cup. So I think I made this 9 inches high because I'm using a 20-ounce skinny tumbler, and I'm going to place it on my tumbler, as you can see, with a little bit of excess at the bottom and then a little bit less excess at the top. We are going to wrap the excess vinyl around the bottom of the tumbler, so I wanted to leave a little bit more down there versus up top because we're just going to cut that excess off up there. But I applied this the same way I would any pattern vinyl. I taped down one edge and then used my felt edge squeegee to push the rest of the vinyl onto the tumbler. And now I'm moving on to that top rim with the excess. And what I'm going to do is pull that vinyl as tightly around or over that top rim as I can. And then I'll use a super sharp craft knife to cut off all of that excess. And that's going to give us a nice, really clean, crisp line. And then I'll move down to the bottom of the cup and stretch the vinyl around the bottom. I want this to look like a nice seamless flow from the body of the tumbler down to the bottom. Of course, if you want to, you can just use a cup edging tool or a trimmer or something and just cut a straight line down there. Totally up to you, but I wanted it to look very seamless and flow really nicely. So now right away, we're going to add that striping to each end of our wavy line pattern. For the first stripe, we're going to do a double here. So for the first one, we're going to use my favorite vinyl of all time, the champagne gold textured metallic vinyl from TECKWRAP. And I just cut these out with the same height as the template. So the proportions all stayed the same again. I just edited the height. And then the next little stripe we're going to do is maybe about a little less than half an inch, maybe a quarter of an inch away. We're gonna do this really pretty fire red, corally, orange, sparkly vinyl. This is also from TECKWRAP, and I'll just put one of those on either side of the champagne gold vinyl. And then we'll do another coat of epoxy on the tumbler to seal that set of vinyl in, and then we can move into our main decal for that big plain glitter section. So here's what the cup looks like after that next coat of epoxy. For all my coats, by the way, except for the final coat, as always, I'm using my Flynn Sisters Supply Shop Fast Cure Epoxy. So before I add my decal, I am going to sand down the bottom of the tumbler and then add a circle that I cut out of the same pattern vinyl that we used for the side of the cup. And I cut that at 2.6 inches in like diameter. So it would fit in that bottom section of the cup, and then again complete that like seamless flow from the body down to the bottom. So for my decal, I'm going to use one that I created. So this is also listed on my website if you'd like to use the same one. And I'm going to do a double offset. So for the bottom layer, as you can see, we're using that same champagne gold textured metallic vinyl. And then for the middle layer, we're going to use that same sparkly bright red vinyl. And then for the top layer, we're going to use another one of my absolute favorites. This is the colorful pearl white vinyl, and all of these are from TECKWRAP Craft, so I'll have all of them linked down below. I'll link both their website and their Amazon page so you can order from whichever one you prefer. But I'm just going to layer these up, and then I'll go right into my final 2 coats of epoxy. So as always, for my final coat, I'm using the Flynn Sister Supply Shop Artist Cure epoxy, which is the regular setting epoxy. And I use that for all of my final coats because it has more UV protection in it, which will prevent yellowing over time. So after that final coat is all cured, this is what the cup looks like. So again, a very simple design, but really fun, and you can apply this to any sort of theme if you want to do like pink Christmas or vintage Christmas, a little retro vibe. You could do this design technique with any sort of theme you want. So I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up down below, and as always, make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of my new videos. All right, thanks so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow for another one, and that's it. Okay, love you. Bye.